Death Valley's empty roads, abandoned mining towns, and sweeping desert landscapes carry the whispers of an era most consider lost to time. Yet one legendary figure, Death Valley Scotty, still casts a long shadow across these sun-scorched lands. This is my journey through the towns Scotty once called home, Ballarat, Rhyolite, and Beatty. In each weathered building and dusty street corner, I pieced together the story of a man whose life was defined by adventure, clever deception, and a uniquely American talent for self-made mythology. In 2009, my first stop brought me to Ballarat, California, where I met Rock Novak, the ghost town's caretaker. Rock inherited more than just the duty of watching over this abandoned settlement. He inherited stories from his father, George, who tended to Ballarat for decades before him.
Redcliffe Mine, that was the name of the mine. He's supposed to have a secret place over there. Of course, he always had secret mines, but had a secret place down there at Redcliffe. And he'd show these people, this chunks of ore with gold sticking out of it and all that. He said, yeah, that's where I get my gold, down there at my secret mine. And everybody's trying to follow him,
Yeah.
So Scotty, he'd leave out of here, he'd stay over here for a couple of days or a week. When he'd leave out in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 in the morning. He'd wrap his horse shoes, the horse's hoofs, so they wouldn't leave tracks.
Yeah.
He'd take off. People try to follow him, and old Scotty'd get away from him every time. And they never did discover where his mine was at.
Yeah.
That could be, knowing him, that could be just a big wild story, to get money, for investors.
Through Rock's eyes, I see Scotty as he once was, a larger-than-life character sweeping into town like a dust devil, stirring up excitement with grandiose tales of a hidden mine deep within Death Valley's mysterious folds. Rock paints a vivid picture of Scotty's arrivals, dressed in well-worn desert gear, his voice booming across the empty streets, his quick wit drawing crowds wherever he went.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in Los Angeles, in that area where he went knew him, and everybody was gold crazy. They thought there was gold nuggets sticking out of the rocks everywhere out here, and old Scotty would go in there, said, yeah, buy me and Pete there a drink. Drinks are like 5 cents a drink in them days.
Mm-hmm.
So Scotty, he'd pull a $100 bill out, pay for the drinks and a $100 bill. He'd watch his chance. He'd step out the door, and the bank was just across the street, and he'd go to the bank, and he'd give him 10 cents, and get another $100 bill, run back in the bar, buy another round of drinks for him and his buddy, pull out another $100 bill. And he'd do that for a while, and then he'd go to another bar. People think, boy, he's got a lot of money, Hey, I'll find gold out here. There's gold. He always carried 3 or 4 chunks of real good high-grade picture rock with about half gold. Yeah, that's the kind of gold I find in my mine. Started selling shares. He was in L.A. for like 3 days and left Los Angeles with $5,000 in his pocket.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, that's like $50,000 nowadays.
To some, he was an eccentric showman. To others, he was a skilled, confident man. But the truth hardly mattered. Ballarat's rough-and-tumble miners and drifters weren't necessarily seeking proof of gold. They were buying into a dream, a story, an escape from their hard-scrabble lives. And Scotty was a master at selling precisely that. Crossing the Nevada border, I follow Scottys Trail to Rhyolite and Beatty. Rhyolite was once the biggest boomtown in these parts, where fortunes rose and fell as quickly as the desert sun. In what's now a ghost town of crumbling walls and empty doorways, Scotty found his most receptive audiences. He would hold court in the town's bustling bars and hotels, regaling wide-eyed listeners with tales of his legendary lost mine in Death Valley's depths. In nearby Beatty, Scotty refined his craft, networking tirelessly, convincing anyone who would listen to invest in his mysterious mine. The trajectory of Scotty's life changed forever in 1904 when he met Albert M. Johnson, a wealthy Chicago insurance executive. Johnson was immediately drawn to the raw wildness of the West, so different from his structured life in Chicago. At first, Johnson was just another investor in Scotty's mine, but he soon discovered something far more valuable than gold, an unexpected friendship that would last a lifetime. Instead of turning away when he realized Scotty's mine might be fictional, Johnson drew closer. Having lived a life confined by business obligation and chronic pain from an earlier train accident, Johnson discovered physical relief in the desert's dry climate and spiritual freedom in Scotty's company. He began bankrolling Scotty's adventures, content to watch from the wings as his friend played the role of the wild desert prospector. Their unusual partnership culminated in the late 1920s with the construction of an elaborate mansion in Death Valley, the building that would become known as Scottys Castle. Though Johnson financed and owned it, he happily allowed the myth to persist that it belonged to Death Valley Scotty, who had supposedly built it with his hidden mine's wealth. Together they cultivated this story, drawing visitors and reporters from across the country to witness the spectacle of Scottys Castle and meet its supposedly wealthy owner. Their shared performance delighted visitors who came to hear Scotty's tales of adventure, near-death experiences, and that ever-elusive secret mine. Johnson remained contentedly in the background, finding joy in the elaborate illusion they'd created together. After Johnson died in 1948, he ensured that Scotty could live out his days at the castle, continuing to entertain visitors and preserve their carefully crafted legacy. When Scotty passed away in 1954 at age 81, he left behind more than just stories. He left a testament to the power of imagination and friendship. Buried in Death Valley near his beloved castle, overlooking the harsh but beautiful landscape he called home, Scotty's life proved to be about something far more precious than gold: the freedom to live life on one's own terms, weaving adventure, deception, and genuine friendship into an unforgettable tale. The castle passed to the National Park Service, which shared its remarkable history through tours until October 2015, when disaster struck. A massive flash flood, delivering nearly a year's worth of rain in just 5 hours, devastated the property, damaging roads, cutting utilities, and forcing its closure to the public. Today, the National Park Service continues its meticulous restoration work, installing flood control measures, rebuilding roads, repairing structures, and modernizing utilities to prevent future damage. The anticipated reopening around 2025 promises to reunite visitors with this remarkable piece of American history. When its doors finally reopen, visitors will once again experience the world that a charismatic prospector and a Chicago businessman built together, 1 part truth, 2 parts fiction, and entirely American. Subscribe to our channel to explore the wonders of desert life, from its wild landscapes and wildlife to the vibrant communities that call it home.